Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be making this adorable little pumpkin hat. So today I'm using Bernat Saver yarn in an orange, and we're going to be making the newborn size. I also recommend that you grab something to use as a stitch marker. Because we're working in continuous rounds, we want to make sure that we're counting at the end of each round to make sure that we have the correct number of stitches. But for now, we're going to do a slip stitch. So we're going to cross our yarn over, make a loop, then we're going to reach through with our 2 fingers, grabbing onto the yarn that is still attached to the ball and the loose end, and pull it with our forefinger between, creating that loop. Okay, and then we're just going to insert our hook, and that is our slip knot made. And what we're going to be doing is chaining 2. So you're going to put your yarn around the hook and pull it through the loop that's on the hook. I pulled down on it, on the loop, so that it slides through a little easier. We're going to do that twice. Yarn over, twist your hook, and pull it through. Okay? Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working 10 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. You don't count the loop on your hook, you count the ones that are completed. So that's 1, 2. So we're going to work 10 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, oops, look at me struggling, 2, 3, and you can see I'm using my left hand to kind of pull the circle open so I can slide it through, 3, and tuck the tail away, pull it out of your way, 4, 5. Now just when you'll see it starting to fill up, just move your stitches over. So grab your loop and slide these over to make room for the extra 10. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we are just going to count to make sure that we do have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I have to do one more. Okay, and that's 10. Now for round 2, we're going to be placing 2 single crochets into each stitch. So we're going to be going from 10 to 20 stitches by doubling our stitches in the second round. So this is 1 stitch, and we're going to be working 2 single crochets into that one. So we're going to do 1, 2. And this is where we want to slip our single crochet in so that, or sorry, we want to slip our stitch marker in so we know exactly where we're at. So we're going to continue that way for the entire round. We're going to place 2 single crochets into each single crochet of round 1. 1, 2, next stitch, 1, 2, 2. So I'm going to do this, I'm going to finish this round and then come back and we'll just count and make sure that we have 20 stitches. Okay, so I finished that round. We're just going to double check that we have 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And that's my very first stitch there that I placed the stitch marker in, and that's 20. So that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. So for round 3, we're going to do exactly what we did in round 2. We're going to be working 2 single crochet in every stitch, and that's going to bring us to 40 stitches. And it will also mean the end of the increase rounds for this size. So we're going to take out that stitch marker to make room for our single crochets. And we're going to do 1, 2, and then we're going to be sure to place that stitch marker back into the first single crochet we made for round 3. And we're going to continue working 2 single crochets into each one of these stitches. So 1, 2. So I'm going to finish this round and then I'll come back and we'll count them and we'll make sure that we are headed in the right direction. Okay, see you soon. Okay, so I finished round 3 working 2 single crochets in every stitch around. So now I am just going to count and make sure that I have 40 single crochets. Now you'll see it's really rippled, and if you remember at the beginning I mentioned that, that's exactly what we want because that's what's going to give the pumpkin hat at the top those little bumps to give it that extra shape and make it look different than just a regular beanie. So again, let's just go around and count. I'm going to fast forward through this and I'll meet up with you at the end, and we're just going to make sure that you have 40 stitches. Okay, so I counted and I have 40 stitches, and we're going to move on to the rest of the hat now, which is going to be worked exactly the same. We're going to be placing a single crochet into each stitch around. We are going to be checking our stitches at the end of every round because you want to make sure that you stay on track. If for some reason you're dropping a stitch every round, it's gonna be too small. And if for some reason you're adding a stitch every round, you're gonna end up with a hat that's too big. So we are gonna be continuing this on to do, let me see, 27 rounds, or work it until it reaches 9 inches. So right now, I know lots of people like to know this measurement. It should be approximately 3 inches. Now yours might be different. If you crochet tighter, it's gonna be smaller, in which case I'm gonna recommend you work on your gauge and try and work it a bit looser. This is gonna be a newborn hat, and you don't want newborn hats to be too small. They should fit exactly the size of the head or slightly bigger. You don't want the baby to be uncomfortable, and babies grow incredibly fast, so you want to make sure that it's going to fit for more than a day. I'm throwing a lot of information at you. I hope that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to go on and I'm going to work a single crochet in each stitch around. For this round, we can do it together. So that's the first stitch. Let's pop this right back in so that you know when you hit the end of your round. And we're going to go every one around. Single crochet. Anyway, okay, I'm going to pause this and I'll meet up with you at the end of the round and I'll talk to you then. Okay, so I finished round 4 and we'll just take another measurement here. So it's just, let's see here, about 3.5 inches. So we're going to keep working. So just remember to keep counting your stitches at the end of each round and keep working till you reach 9 inches, and then we'll fasten off and we'll hop into doing the stem and the leaf. Okay, so I finished making the base of my hat, and what we're going to do next is make the leaves. Okay, so now that we have finished our adorable pumpkin hat, the last thing that we need to do is make up our leaves and our stem. So I'm going to demonstrate both sides leaves for you just in case you want to see both instructions. So I'm going to start with the small leaf. We're going to just do our slip knot here. And we are going to start off by chaining 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next thing that we're going to be doing is just working a slip stitch into the second chain from the hook. So it's your first, your second. We're going to work our slip stitch in there. And then what we're going to be doing is we're working across the chain. We're actually going to be building our stitches. So each stitch we do is going to be taller than the one before. So we just did a slip stitch, which is the shortest one. Then we're going to be doing a single crochet, then a half double crochet in the next, and then a double crochet in the next. And then when we hit the end of our chains here and work in this last chain, we're going to be working 3 half double crochets. And what that is going to do is it's going to bring us around the top of the leaf, or actually what's going to be the bottom of the leaf, and we're going to start working along the opposite side of the chain. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, okay, Let's just move that little tail out of our way. And then we're going to start, we're going to mirror what we did on the first side. So we're going to do a double crochet, a half double crochet, a single crochet, and a slip stitch. Okay, then we're just going to fasten off, and we'll weave in this yarn here, and we'll leave this one long for attaching to the hat. Okay, so we'll just weave this one in, and then I'll show you how to do the large leaf. So just weave that. I'm just going to grab, you see the stitch looks a little loose, I'm just going to grab that and tuck it to the back here. And don't pull too tight when you're weaving in this stitch because you don't want to change the shape of your leaf. So if you pull too hard, it's going to look like that. So just keep it nice and loose so that your leaf still has that teardrop shape. And that is our first leaf done. So fast. Okay, so the large leaf is worked the same way as the small leaf, except for this time we're going to start by chaining 9. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then again, we're going to work into the second chain from the hook. So that's 1, 2. We're going to work our slip stitch in there. Then we're going to work a single crochet in the next. And then we're going to be working a half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So that's 1 half double crochet. That's 2 half double crochet. Then we're going to be working a double crochet over the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 1, 2, 3. And then we are going to be working a half double crochet, we're going to be working 3 half double crochets in the last stitch, and that again is going to bring us around to the bottom of this chain where we're going to start working the opposite side. So that's 1, 2, 3. And you can see now we're ready to work on the opposite side. So we're going to be working a double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to work a half double crochet over the next 2. 1, 2, and then we're going to work a single crochet, and then we're just going to slip stitch to the top there. And there's our large leaf made. Isn't that cute? Cute and easy. Easier than I thought. Or maybe easier than you thought. Alrighty, and the very last thing we have to do now is our stem, and I've run out of dark brown yarn, so I am going to use the beige to show you. The stem is really easy. All we're going to be doing is chaining 8 and then working a slip stitch back down that chain. All right, oops, focus in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we're going to be working a slip stitch in each chain across. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and my kids are being noisy. Okay, so that's this, and now we'll fasten off. Okay, and then I'll be showing you how to attach that to your hat. There's probably lots of different ways that we can attach the leaves to the hat, and if you have ideas on how to do it, or if you do it differently, I'd love to hear in the comments. But for now, what I'm going to do is just thread my yarn, and I'm going to just attach it to the bottom of my stem here, essentially making the leaves and the stem one piece. That's what I'm doing here. Okay, and I'm going to actually attach it to this leaf as well. Okay, and then I'm going to take the yarn from the small leaf and do the same thing. I'm just going to attach the small leaf to the large leaf and the stem. I think you're about to hear my dog bark. Oh, there she goes. Okay. I've got the windows open because there's a really cool breeze coming in today, and I love it. It was sunny, then poured rain. Now it's sunny again. Okay, so I'm just going to take this, weave it through. Ziva, it's okay, honey. And then down here again. Okay. So then essentially, like I said, we've turned the stem and the leaves into one piece. And then what we're going to do, I'm kind of shaky today because I didn't sleep last night and I had a lot of coffee and a lot of Pepsi this morning. Okay, so here's the hat, and we're going to locate the top, and I have a little hole in mine. It's going to be covered up with the stem. If you want, you can take your yarn and needle and just sew that closed with a few stitches. But for now, I'm going to just go up, not through the middle, but to the side, and I'm going to grab with my hook the yarn from the leaf and the yarn from the stem, and I'm going to pull it through. Okay, so there it is through the bottom, and then I'm going to go up on the opposite side, which is over here, and I'm going to pull through the leftover yarn pieces and pull that through. Now, again, this is up to you if you want to sew it in, if you want to tie a knot, if you want to tie a bow. That's your choice, and I'm just going to tie a little bow here, nice and tight. I don't know why I like to, for some reason, I like to tie my pom-poms on so I can remove them, my leaves, my flowers for the most part. All right, and there you go. And then you just sort of work it into place. So that's your leaf and your stem done. And the very last thing we're going to do is just weave in this last tail if you haven't already. So excited. This is almost done. Hey, and I get to find out what my new grandbaby is on Saturday, boy or girl. So you might see different hats coming about depending. Actually, I should do that. I should just start making hats and make you guys guess as if a boy or a girl. All right, and we'll trim this off. And I'll just snip this other piece that's a little bit long. And the last thing we're gonna do is just, well, you can leave it like that because that's actually super cute, or you can just roll this up, which is how I've done it for this pattern. So you just want to keep it so that it's only, I'd say about just over a centimeter, just over ½ inch, and then just keep rolling it until you get the height you want. But that looks pretty sweet to me. And there it is. There's our little pumpkin hat and little apple hat and little plum hat. So that's everything I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it and you had success, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Feel free to leave it a thumbs up if you think it deserves one. If it doesn't, let me know what I did wrong or what I could do better, because the only way I can improve my videos is if you guys tell me what to do. I hope you're all doing great, and until next time, stay cozy.